What is up, ABA Nation? Welcome back to everyone's favorite serious, unserious podcast, the ABA Pod. Let's give it up for the ABA Pod, boys. Yeah, we're back. And joining me today, I am AJ Miskines, if you don't know, captain of the Montpelier Moose, co-commissioner, victim of the Rattler. And to my left is the Rattler himself.
Glad to be back.
Nolan Michael Anson. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm glad to be back. Ready to talk about these games, and I'm ready to show up on Sunday.
Repping your team, I like it.
Yep, thank you.
And then to my right is a man that we cannot do this league without. Co-commissioner and fan favorite contender, Andrew Traina.
Morning, everyone. Excited to get the pod underway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we ready to hop right into it, boys?
Let's get into it.
Let's go. So we are going to start by thanking our sponsor, who so generously donated a trophy to the league. Checkers. Couldn't do it without Checkers.
I don't know, man. I think I kind of like McDonald's better, but that's just my opinion.
He's the Rattler. He's controversial. This is his job.
He's got it.
Yeah, my bad. Shit, I might have just lost as a sponsor again.
And so we're going to start by going over some rules real quick. Just a little state of the league refresher. We have the max rule, and the max rule is everyone has to wear clothes. A shirt during the game.
I don't think there's any rules against players not wearing bottoms.
I have not heard anything from the league office, which is sitting at this table.
Yeah. So
It's a theory.
Good
work.
try.
Yeah,
Save it for the playoffs.
And then we have Nolan. Do you want to read your rule out?
Sure. I don't know why this is my rule, because I never fouled out. I think Big A must have put in a word, but so after 6 fouls, a player fouls out of the game and cannot return. Fouls are personally called. Disagreements are settled via shooting forward or as a last resort by checking the film. I think this should be the Joel rule after the Hack-a-Shack fouls that he had this past Sunday.
Newman also fouled Big A 4 times.
Yeah.
We'll get to that though. To start, I think that's a really important rule because nobody wants to be playing pickup and getting fouled all the time.
Right.
And it is call your own fouls, but also what this rule does is kind of stop people from just fouling on every single play.
Yeah.
Like, there's a limit. If you only have 3 and you have a person foul out of the game, you're playing 2v3. That's what we decided. Whoopsie. Looking daggers right at Nolan is funny.
All right.
And then new to this year, we have possession arrow. We tried that out at the end of the second game, and it worked pretty well. We don't want people just staying tied up in tie-ups for long periods of time. Jump balls are kind of annoying sometimes.
People getting elbows too if they're tied up.
Yeah, exactly. Like we want to protect the players here.
Got it.
And a good way to do that is by adapting. We use a college 3-point line already. College tie-up rules, possession arrow, absolutely. And so that is what we're going to do moving forward.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Pretty straightforward.
Good plan.
So that's just a little refresher. But now, it's time for everyone's favorite segment. We're starting off the pod with it.
Got it.
Let's go.
We're going above the game reviews.
We love endorsing gambling to our young viewers out there.
Waiting for that fan to
We're starting them early.
Our viewers that good? Yeah.
Let's see.
There's some of them.
Well,
They're underage for gambling.
ABA Bets, everyone, is back. It's back. I've got my lead ABA Bets consultant right here. We have our lead ABA Bets loser right here.
Yeah.
Never won.
We got degenerate gamblers this league is, but okay.
Hater. So there's going to work a little differently this year because so many people like ABA Bets, but not everyone can be on the pod. This table we can really fit 3, maybe 4. It's going to work like this. There's going to be a little bit different ways people can play. Way number 1, both of you gentlemen are demonstrating it right now. Pull up to the ABA pod. You can make your parlay live in person, and it will be shown to our wonderful viewers on the YouTube when it's posted. Way number 2, our lovely viewers can comment their bet parlay selections underneath the YouTube video, and you may get that recognized by me, and we will see if your parlay hits. It also tells you if the comment's edited, so there's not really a way to cheat that. But
Right.
Way number 3, message me, AJ Miskines, directly, and I will make note of it. We will see if we have any successful parlays this year. There is one condition, though, that we do need to say. Are either of you familiar with Jonte Porter?
I've heard of him.
I've heard of him.
Heard of him?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jonte Porter.
You're a big fan of him.
I have a jersey of his.
That's actually a
I
sick
kind of
Yeah.
modeled my game off him.
Yeah.
So Jonte Porter is famously known for getting banned forever from the NBA for gambling on his own team and his own stats. We at the ABA value integrity. We value fair competition.
Sure.
Yeah.
And because of this fact, we are making a distinction. Each week, you are only allowed to bet on the opposing game, not the one you're playing on. Can't bet on your own team's games. If you are on the podcast, you are more than likely going to discuss some of the lines from your games,
Of course.
and other viewers may use that as advice. However, it's very important that we say you are going to place a parlay on the other game that you're not playing in. Because also it was fun. You know?
Or we shouldn't do ABA bets at all because it hurts the integrity of the game, Kamish.
Look at this guy.
I'm just saying.
It hurts the integrity of the game.
Yeah, it
If
does.
sports gambling hurt the integrity of the game, wouldn't you see sports banning it?
They want the money. There's
Let the
alright,
fans
whatever,
have fun.
whatever.
Let the
Ne-
fans
next
have
slide,
fun.
Next slide. This is boring.
This is good.
People are going to be skipping over this section.
That's actually probably true, but it does need to be made.
All right.
And the reward, custom ABA merch.
Wow.
Look at that.
Are you going to be charging $20 for?
Free.
I'm not charging.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
hit
not
it.
charging for it. If you hit,
Okay.
it's
Oh, yeah.
it's
People definitely want a mouse pad.
I think
It's an
that that's
option.
fun. If you
Oh,
if
really?
you have a mouse, you use a mouse on your laptop because I don't. But
I don't. I think nobody does.
if you want to have a mouse pad, you can have a mouse pad.
Why
you
would
wanna have
anyone want a Winnipeg Blizzards?
ABA
You
mouse
could get throwback
Retro.
merch. Yeah.
What?
throwback
retro?
ABA merch?
Yeah.
hmm
I mean, if you're a fan of chokers,
Maybe
I
you
would,
love-
I would buy a Winnipeg Blizzard sweatshirt.
You would probably go for the gamblers instead, correct?
I would. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's a fair choice. And you will have your choice of what item you want, what team logo you want on it. If you want your own name, it can be
Can I
personalized.
get like a Denver Nuggets one?
Denver Nuggets, and then it just has like ABA on the back somewhere. Hey, we'll see what happens. Someone's got to hit their parlay first. We are representing some custom ABA merch today, as you can see right here.
Yeah. High quality stuff.
Nolan is wearing one of our draft hats, and those turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
There you
Those
go.
turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I also have a coupon from Vistaprint, so let's hope someone gets a parlay hit past June 30th. All right, moving on. First parlay option of the year, and this is one that you two guys and myself can engage with because this is about Carolina versus Hartford. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to have 5 categories here. All you got to do is follow the directions right here. And those are your 5 legs. They all hit. Congratulations, you win free merch. Let's take a look at the first one. Simple as this, boys. 1-0 Carolina, 0-1 Hartford.
Yeah.
Who do you have winning?
I gotta take Carolina. I think Carolina is one of the better teams in the league, and I think Hartford is severely undersized for this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna struggle in the paint.
Absolutely. What do you got, Noel?
I agree. I think Carolina, matchup wise, favors them more. I don't really think anyone can defend Big A in the paint.
Yeah.
Severely undersized. I'm pulling up the stats from last game. 16 for 90 shooting.
Mm-hmm.
That's 18% shooting. And Velzy's a pretty efficient shooter.
Yeah.
He's way better than Joel.
Yeah.
Joel was just shot chucking the whole
Absolutely.
game.
Both Ashton's a couple of the best players
Yeah.
in the league.
I think
Only thing Joel was good at was trying to rile up AJ.
I think one of
Which
the
worked.
we'll talk about the games in a minute. I think that talking about this specific game that we're looking forward to, I'm taking Hartford. And I'm going to take Hartford because if there's one thing I know about Gabe Christopher, it's when you count him out, he does the work and he is going to be petty and he is going to prove you wrong. And I don't care if he takes a million shots, he might, but he's going to make them. And I'm confident that this team, RG, is going to start draining his shots. I think it's going to be good.
I think Gabe drafted 2 point guards just so he could win the MVP.
I mean, 9 for 44 shooting for Gabe, 2 for 22 for RG,
We're going to get to that
5
in a
for
second.
21 from Joel.
We'll talk more about those games once we get there.
Yeah.
But to start, I would say naturally then that my player of the week is Gabe Christopher. For the second leg, Traina, you have Carolina winning. Who's your player of the week?
Yeah, I think.
Which Ashton?
I'm gonna go with Velzy actually. I think he's gonna get hot from beyond the arc, and I think it's gonna be a pretty quick game. You know, everyone's gonna be worried about the post, defending the post for Hartford. I think it's gonna leave Ashton, give some good looks.
Absolutely. Little fun fact here on that note: Velzy and Max are tied for the most career players of the week with 6. Whoever gets player of the week first, they're going to be the one to break that tie and take that mantle. Nolan, who do you have as player of the week?
I don't think it's going to be Velzy because I think he's going to pull himself out sometime in the second quarter because he's going to be too tired. I think Gabe and Joel, they're hustlers, and I don't think Velzy has the cardio to match. I think they should play Aaron Quinn more. Surprised he didn't play more. I think Ashton, Big A, is going to win it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think he's a matchup nightmare. Gabe struggled defending him last year. I think it's going to be the same thing.
So, talking about Big A, that moves us into our third leg, which is an over-under. And it is Big A over-under 10.5 points on the game. So, I'm going to go ahead and take a guess here. Are you saying over?
Yep, over hits.
Gotcha. Traina, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I kind of got to stick with the game script that I was going for. So, I'm going to take the under. I think he's going to be really kicking out to, you know, his perimeter guys.
I am going to say that we are in for a shot chucking masterclass between Gabe and who's the biggest shot chucker on the Carolina Reapers.
Ashton.
That
Kasperzak.
would be Ashton Kasperzak himself. Love my former teammate, and I think that he's very talented. He's going to make a lot of them, but if he's going to make a lot of them, he's going to take a lot of shots. I'm taking the over. Absolutely.
Couldn't keep my name out of his mouth last week too.
Okay, so Gabe, all over the place last game, but there was a lot of rebounds to get. So, what are we thinking over under 13.5 boards? Because this week, they are going to be going against a team with a little more size since Jackson and Newman could only do so much last week. What are we thinking over under 13.5 boards, Traina?
Yeah, I mean, Gabe's the only one with a lot of size. I mean, RG was great on the rebounds.
Absolutely.
Part of me still wants to take the under. I just don't think he'll be able to get him over Ashton, so I'm going to go under.
Fair.
Hammering the unders this week.
I'm going to go next, Nolan, and then I'll let you
All
go. Because my game script is I have Hartford winning, I have Gabe going off. There's going to be a lot of shots, which means there's going to be a lot of misses. RG is in great position a lot of time for rebounds, but I think Gabe is going to stop shooting that two-pointer. I think he's going to be over. That's what I'm saying. We're betting on a big day from Hartford. What do you think?
I got the over as well. I think he's board man. He always gets a lot of boards.
Absolutely. So now the last one, we're going to try something a little bit different this year. It's going to be another pick your own. And we're going to pit 2 players that are playing against each other. And you're going to select which one will have more of a certain statistic. This game, we're going to say who finishes with more 2-point field goals, Joel or Ashton Velzy? Nolan.
So, I think Velzy's the more efficient shooter. I think he's going to shoot more. Joel this last game was just a perennial shot chucker. Only thing he was good at was hacking Nick D. I'm surprised Nick D didn't just throw him over his head and throw him out of the game because he had every right to.
Absolutely.
Disgusting play.
So you're going with Velzy.
Even coming from me, that was pretty disgusting play from Joel.
Ashton Velzy.
Yeah. Yeah, he was crying the whole game too.
Traina.
Yeah, I'm going to go Velzy. I think he's the best shooter in the league. Like I said, I think he's going to hit a lot. I think he's going to get hot.
Absolutely. I am going to double down on being a contrarian this podcast. I'm going to go with Joel. And I think that Joel shot very bad last week. And I think that he might shoot better this week.
So is Joel just your daddy now?
Right?
Because he's
Shoot or
shoot.
shoot.
So you gotta suck up to him now, or
Classic Nolan.
don't laugh it off because
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
happened. You got into your head. Dude.
We will talk more about the game when we get to that point in this
Okay.
podcast. Trust me, I know you have some choice words. You will have your opportunity
will.
to say them, but
Yeah.
now is not that time because
He's lucky. I
get
wasn't here
your
last week.
parlay selections in. If you want to bet on this game, comment it
Lucky I
under
wasn't
the
here last
post.
week.
Send me a message directly. If you are on Hartford or you are on Hamilton, this is the game that you are betting on this week.
Nope.
Incorrect.
If you're on Montpellier and you're on Hamilton, you can bet on this.
I
game.
literally
Not
missed my
Hartford.
own team. You know what?
Don't worry.
That's
If you're
okay.
not on either of them.
I mean,
This
It
happens.
didn't look like he was playing for his own team this past Sunday too. So
I set myself up for that one.
All right.
Classic commentary. So Montpelier and Hamilton, this is your game, and get your selections in. Let's move on to the next one, and that is our game. We're gonna be playing
let's go.
Montpelier and Hamilton,
Yep.
and that means that Carolina and Hartford. This is the game you're gonna be betting on.
Bingo.
So we're gonna start with whoever is gonna win this game, and obviously we're all very biased here. So who's gonna win this game, Nolan?
I think we're going to win it just because
Yes.
now we have reinforcements now with
Hell
me
yeah.
and Traina.
Yep.
I think I'm a decent defender. I was a depoy candidate last year. I think I can defend anyone on their team.
Make your case, man. Let's go.
Um,
I also have the Moose winning because I'm never going to bet against my team, which is why we're not betting against our team.
Right.
I do think that it's going to be a good game. And Traina, what do you think?
Yeah, I got to take the Moose as well.
Antlers up.
Antlers up. I think good matchups, and I think we got a good game plan. Yeah. Should be a fun one.
So, player of the week, we all have the Moose. I'm not going to lie. I think smart value here would probably be Andrew Traina making his season debut.
I think that's...
If you want to take a shot,
Yeah, that's a good long shot pick.
it's a good long shot. Dark horse.
Good odds on that.
Absolutely. You get him
So
that
that's-
Jackson Chabot matchup,
That's positive expected value right there.
let him cook. What do you think? Just
Um,
shoot a shot in the dark.
Very-
Hamilton.
I was very.
Who gets player of the week if Hamilton wins?
Hamilton's not going to win though, so
Yeah.
that shouldn't even be a
Hard to-
conversation.
I'm just being a host.
Why would I try and compliment the other team that we're trying to destroy on Sunday? Why would I do that?
None
why,
of them
why
are
would
gonna-
I?
You think
why would
you
I
think
give
Mr.
them
How do
confidence?
you think Mr. Double Double is going to be defended
Double
against?
None of them are going to be near
Max.
double.
First of all, Mr. Double Double's not going to hit a double double.
None of them are
He's
going to
not
be
gonna
near
hit 10
double-digit points.
Okay, absolutely.
And then my player of the week, I think Nick I think he was the best player last week between both of the games. Shot 50% from the field. I think he had 25 rebounds.
Yes, sir.
I think that's close to an ABA record. Only had 4 turnovers compared to the 18 between the other two. 3 steals, and he was just a dominant presence. He could have had more if Joel didn't hack him all the time. 'cause
If
that's the
you
thing he
are
couldn't
taking Hamilton and you want some names to throw out there, let me suggest Jackson Schlaboe. Absolute legend point guard, veteran of the game.
do. I think
And
AJ's trying not to give
Great.
away any merch by that.
Great
pick.
dude. I'm not making the bet. I'm just saying, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
if you wanted to, that would be
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
that would be my advice. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Mr. Double Double himself, Max Walizewski, over under 11.5 points.
Good job.
I knocked my water over. Do we think that's a fair line, right?
Yeah, but I already said he's not hitting 10 points, so he's not hitting 12. So under. Well, I mean, I'm not betting on it, but
We are like the best team size wise to match up against them.
exactly.
So yeah, he's not gonna do anything.
Mm-hmm. So now we move over to Nick D, who had a very good week last week. Very, very good. One of the best weeks that anyone had because it was a really rough first
Arguably
week.
the best week.
So we have him over under 14.5 field goals attempted. I'm really curious to see how that one's going to play out personally. What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, the line opened up at 17.5 and got bumped down to 14.5.
Yeah.
I still think that's a little high just because the 2 subs coming in the game are going to be getting a share of those shots. So I'm going to, yeah.
I would listen to
It's
our
just
expert.
my
I do think that
It could go over.
the line bumping down gives you a little bit of a hint, right? You got to read into it a little bit.
It could go over. But
Absolutely. Now, this one's going to be interesting to
Jeez,
see.
are you not gonna get my opinion for that one?
I mean,
do you have an opinion?
do you have an opinion?
Well, I'm just saying. I think just because we have more people now, I don't think he has to put up over 14.5 field goal attempts.
He did have 20 last game.
Look, I'll be honest, AJ, I'm expecting a lot from you on Sunday.
He
compared
might
to
get a
that
lot.
abysmal performance last Sunday.
We
so
will
you
talk
better,
about that.
you better- but I think you'll be able to shoot more. Hopefully.
He might get a lot of putback.
He could. No, what? That's true.
Also, I like to throw him lobs. I like
That's
to see
fine.
that.
Right.
Yeah, your lobs were.
I said I'd
just,
like to see.
oh,
I'd
yeah,
like.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
said. I'd like
Yeah.
to see us
Okay.
throw him lobs.
All right, yeah.
So, bottom question. This is the this or that. Your selection. Who finishes with more rebounds? AJ Miskines, that's yours truly, or Matt Newman, ABA legend. What do we think? I think this is a lot more tougher than maybe it looks on the surface.
I mean, one of these teams is gonna miss more shots than the other, so I'd just go with the one that's gonna miss less shots.
And that would probably be us, right?
Well,
I mean,
some may say
if you are
it's up to your
going down that
up
road.
to you, but
What do you think, Nolan?
Newman didn't get many boards last week, and I wouldn't say he's a vertical threat really. So I think AJ is. I think AJ's got that unlock.
I will say this much about my performance, and you can read into this what you will. That game was not my finest hour in the ABA. In fact, it was probably pretty close to not the absolute worst that I've played.
Remind me, what was the absolute worst, AJ? What was the absolute worst?
I will say this much: I know that I need to be giving more than I was, and read into that what you will. That's what my advice would be based on how I'm approaching my mindset this game.
Also, one more thing. The way Newman positioned himself last week, when looking at the tape, he was more around the perimeter, so that's another reason why I think he's not going to get as many rebounds.
All right, let's move on to the recap. And I want to talk about this game. Again, we don't have to spend too much time. We kind of hinted at a lot of what we wanted to talk about. So this first game, I already edited it, so we're just going to go straight off of two people who were not there. When you look at the box score, when you listen to the conversation about the game, Big A wins Player of the Week, and the Carolina Reapers win against the Hamilton Royals. I'm going to have it in the back of my head. 21-19. Let's start with the Rattler over here. What is your big takeaway from this game? Give you about either team.
I think the Ashton combo is probably the best duo in the league. I think if they want to win a championship, they're just going to need more from Eric and Aaron. I mean, they both have the shooting ability. They just got to do that consistently. In terms of Hamilton, I mean, it's Max, Newman, Jackson. Who's that fourth guy? Wes
and Tom.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know how good Wes is. I mean, if he comes in, he could add a huge boost. And I think they have the tallest lineup in the league, so it could be.
You got anything to say about Tom?
I got nothing to say for Tom. I have no beef with Tom.
Good.
Anymore.
Yep,
absolutely. What is your big takeaway, Traina?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that I think Belzy and Big A, best duo in the league. I think from the little game film that I watched, I think Belzy needs to be a little. I want to see him, be a little less selfless.
Yeah.
I want to see him go up with some more shots. Maybe some contested ones he wouldn't be thinking about taking.
Absolutely.
I do think Aaron Quinn is a great player too. I think he needs more minutes.
Just got to get back into the flow of it, right?
Of course. Yeah.
How do you think, we got two players making their debuts next week. We got Wes and then we got Jimmy that both should be making their first appearances. Let's go, Traina, how do you think Wes is going to fit in? And then Nolan, I'll come right over to you and ask about Jimmy. So how do you think Wes is going to fit into this Hamilton Royals?
Yeah, I mean, I've played a little with Wes, and I think he is a really good player, and I think he could make the Royals a lot better. I think it could be a kind of I don't want to say, a good team.
Yeah.
I think they could be a really good team.
Absolutely. There are no moves, but...
There's a reason he was a first-round pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I was given some faulty information about him. I heard he was not that good.
No.
And then all of a sudden, a lot of people were telling me that was incorrect, and he actually is pretty good. And he's 6'5".
I mean, it's been a while, but I remember him being pretty solid, having a nice step back or whatever.
For sure. Nolan, what do you think about our old friend Jimmy?
I mean, hopefully...
Mr. Irrelevant this year.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have been Mr. Irrelevant. I think that's too harsh on him. I don't know. I don't see him making like a huge impact scoring wise, just because I feel like Velzy and Ashton will be ball dominant. I mean, he kind of fits the same profile as Eric. They're both kind of 3-point specialists, I guess.
I like to think Jimmy's a glue guy too.
Yeah, I think Eric's a little better defensively. So yeah, just like another solid bench option that could give you maybe secondary scoring. And then going back to Wes, if he's 6'5", I question what the spacing's going to be like with them.
I like the 2 for 6 from Eric last week.
Yeah,
that's got to be one of the higher shooting percentages of the league.
Yeah, but he's got a.
It's up there. He's top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, what? He was a second-round pick, Eric.
That was Velzy's second pick.
I feel like they need honestly. probably didn't get the ball that much, but you would like to see a little more scoring from him. I want to see more scoring from him because I think he's
They got the win.
he's a good he's a good shooter. I
Kick
just
efficiency.
you would like I don't know. I think there's more to Eric.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is going to be the main event of these two games because I am not kidding when I say this has a strong argument to be the worst game in ABA history. This was a slog to edit and take the stats down, especially because I had to watch myself play in this game, and that was like sleeping on a bed of nails. All right, you two weren't there.
Yeah.
Glad I wasn't.
I watched
there.
it.
Let's get this out of the way. What do we have to say?
All right. I'll let Traina go first,
Okay.
and then I have a little something to say.
You know, I mean, players are shaking off the rust. It's week 1. You gotta go a little easy on them.
It was bad.
But it was ugly. It was real ugly.
It was really bad.
I think league shooting percentage as a whole is down a lot from last year.
16 for 9.
Yeah, 16 for 90 from the Hartford Hearts might be some kind of record. We saw a lot of great rebounding stats come through. 25 from Nick, 18 from RG, which was a surprise. I didn't notice, like, preseason he was getting a lot of rebounds, so I'm glad to see that carry over to regular season. But not great shooting splits from anyone except Nick. I do like Noah's assists, 5 assists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think if you can get a lot of assists, that's a big thing for the league.
Absolutely. Nolan, what do you gotta say?
So I have a lot to say with both teams. I'm going to start with my team first and foremost, specifically with you. If I ever see you
Let him have it.
not close out and just when RG shot the ball or when Joel shot the ball,
I did that
like,
with Newman once.
I did notice a lot where like AJ would miss a shot and then just like hang his head and not play defense.
Yeah, it seemed like
I think Nick did it too a little. Everyone did a little bit, but
it seemed like you were
I definitely
mentally.
noticed it with you.
It seemed like you were mentally checked out
We
within
need
the
hustle.
first 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
And I feel like if you don't show hustle, like at the end of the game when you didn't crash that rebound and Nick was like, what the hell are you doing? I was thinking the same thing watching it. It was pretty frustrating to watch.
I think I had some good
man,
moments
you're
in the
better.
game, but
You're better than that.
I know that
the
was
lob
cool.
to Nick.
The lob to Nick.
Yeah,
I
the
liked.
lob. But yeah, like
It counts as a
if
lob.
we,
It does.
I know you've never won a championship, but if you want to win a championship, you're gonna have to show more hustle than that.
And you know what? I will
Every
take
play
that
matters.
criticism and I
Yeah,
accept it because that's fair.
Every rebound matters. Every
that is
closeout
not-
matters.
I'm telling you, that is not happening again.
Cardio's got to be better. You looked a little tired, and I mean, luckily
need
we'll be
to-
here for that.
I'm gonna lock
We got
in.
you.
We're gonna be better. I think I didn't shoot terribly, but there were a lot of times, like there was a time I passed up an open lay, like because I was just very much playing scared basketball, where I just wanted to pass out, get the ball out of my hands. But I can do a lot of good things with the ball in my hands.
I thought there were plenty of times where you could have just went straight up with the ball after getting a rebound and you elected to pass it. That was another really frustrating thing. But you know what? It's one game. You had one rough game. It's fine. It's
Happens.
over with. Yeah. I like that you got 11 rebounds. That's good. And then moving on to Hartford. So,
Feel free. Floor is yours.
I mean, we have two prima donnas on their team with Gabe and Joel bitching at Jackson. Jackson didn't deserve that, especially when he was right. I mean, I think Gabe and Joel need to go back to school because clearly they can't count.
Would you like to pull up the statement that was made? Because
I would love to.
what
I would love
was
to
the
pull up this
situation
statement.
was there was a point after halftime where we had scored, the Moose had scored 2 baskets, and the Hartford Hearts had scored a 2-pointer, and the score was correctly marked by Jackson Schlaboe, who did a wonderful job, 13-9. But Joel and Gabe were a little confused. They thought the score was 12-9. We heard some chatter from the sidelines that also said 12-9. Me and Nick, we thought that it was 13-9. Jackson did as well because he was marking the score. And upon further review, when I was doing the stats, the score was correct, and we actually ended up missing out on an extra point because of it. We will hopefully not have this issue moving forward because there will be no confusion. I have a scoreboard coming. It should be here tomorrow. If we do have to do this again, though, absolutely need to make sure that we are on the same page with that.
Yep. And then, so I'm just going to say what Jackson said. Never doubt my scorekeeper skills again. I've got 5 years of scorekeeping under my belt at the great North Tonawanda Rec Department. So, yeah, if that happens again, I feel like
Shout out.
suspensions need to be doled out. can't be bitching at the scorekeeper like that. I think that's a travesty to this league.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, also just talking about like team building overall, I think Gabe made a huge mistake taking Joel.
I think he's MVP chasing.
Joel, I mean, Joel is basically just a worser version of RG. I mean, didn't get nearly as many boards as RG. Basically had the same. I mean, basically at the same
More
stats
turnovers.
wise. I mean, all Joel was good for was fouling this game, which I mean it's pretty disappointing because he played pretty well last year. I mean, he was talking a big game going into this season, and he really hasn't backed it up. If you want to go rattle people, at least hit shots down the stretch like I did. Don't be crying and lying.
This is why you have the Rattler on the pod. You
And
let him off the leash, let him go ham.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like Joel's mind is on some other stuff other than basketball. I don't know what that's about. So yeah, I mean, hopefully.
What, you think he made like a bad grilled cheese or something?
I don't know. I think
He didn't eat a cereal in the morning?
I don't know.
If
man.
I don't eat breakfast,
I think,
sometimes
I don't know. So,
get in my
something's up. He I don't know. Like he tried playing hero ball. I thought he turned over the ball in inopportune times, especially down the stretch. I mean, Gabe was getting pretty frustrated. But yeah, this is just an undersized lineup.
Yeah, I don't want to get too focused on this game. Enough time has been attributed to this game. We cleared up the attribution error. Shout out Jackson. You keep doing the good work that you are doing. We talked a little bit about me. We talked a little bit about Nick. We talked about Joel. I want to point out one thing before we go. 9 for 44 and 0 of 16 from 2 is prime season 2 Gabe numbers. Prime season 1 Gabe numbers. This is the guy that won MVP.
Yeah. 0 for 16 makes me feel a little better about not hitting a shot in 2
I
years.
mean, he I don't know what he was thinking. If he wanted to take RG, I don't know why he took Joel after. It just didn't make a whole ton of sense for
Big
me.
man was on the board.
It might be tough to make a trade.
Yeah,
I think
don't
every
know.
team is happy
I
with
mean,
it.
Joel's stock is probably the lowest it's ever been for him.
If
So yeah.
we'll see what happens. Trade deadline's after week 3.
Okay.
So you have a couple more games, right? To kind of see how things are gelling, if things are working, if they're not. I would not be surprised if things aren't going well in Hamilton, if maybe we see a Newman swap with Hartford.
Yeah, I could see it.
Because he's got size. You said you don't know how the spacing works. Well, we got a team of bigs.
And a team of twigs.
I threw up the oop and you finished it. We're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah, I'll be slamming them down.
Okay,
all season.
was there any last thing we wanted to say before I pop over? Because we're going to look at the standings real quick. Congratulations to Nick. Forgot to turn the thing. Huge game. Player of the week. First player of the week. DeAndrea. That's my boy. First pick. Double-double with 50% shooting from the field. Wonderful, wonderful work. Give it up for him. Let's clap for our teammate. Hell yeah.
That was a stellar performance from him. Easily the best. I think that was the best of the week.
Back-to-back most improved.
It's going to go crazy.
It could be close.
I thought a lot of people were rusty. Nick didn't look rusty this game. And he did well to keep his head when Joel was just hacking his arm the whole game.
And hit him in the face, too.
Yeah, and hit him in the face.
Joel had 4 fouls. We should point out Joel and Newman both had 4 fouls. They were 2 fouls away from, and that's Big A and Nick drawing fouls.
And I guess it's the Nolan.
No, hack a big. That's the strat in this league.
Okay, so standings wise, this is what we're looking at. We have
see us on top.
The vision is there, right? For all 4 teams to be 1-1, right? Because Hartford ends up playing Carolina. We play Hamilton. What I would love to see is the Moose stay on top.
I agree.
Personally,
I think this could be how the season ends.
I can see that vision.
I agree.
I can see
Actually,
that.
no, I see the Hearts finishing.
Yeah.
And don't forget, last year was the first year. Not all 4 teams make the playoffs. Whoever's in 4th gets the boot. And we're keeping track of that now. All right. So we have a couple announcements, as you can see over here and over here. We have some awards, some trophies. Now, these trophies aren't going to be new awards. They're going to be the trophy you take home if you win a currently existing reward. We're going to link it to that. So to start, we have the Most Valuable Player Award, and that will be this trophy right over here, wonderfully made by my pops, Skins, yes, absolutely. Wonderfully done. Very caring. I didn't even ask him to do that.
Very good with his hands.
He's a very mechanically sound person. That's why he's a tech teacher. So the MVP of the league, you are going to win this trophy, get to take it home with you, and then see if maybe you can repeat it the next year. And it will be presented on the first playoff game the MVP plays. Assuming the MVP makes the playoffs, I would assume that they would.
Yeah.
That'd be a crazy situation.
I mean, it's possible. But...
We invite them out just to present the trophy, and then they can go. All right. And then we are renaming Finals MVP to the Lucas Award, right?
Rest in peace.
Lucas Matovich, an ABA original, the first ever Finals MVP.
Yeah, I'd love to see his brother get it.
That would be a full circle.
Yeah.
And that award was also created by my pops, and it is right over here to my right.
That's beautiful.
It's cool, man. It's really cool. I'm really glad that he did that.
The league is growing.
Shout out Skins. And we still have our ABA championship trophy that will go to the winning team and a member of the winning team. Iconic. Checkers bought it for us. So that is still in the league, even though it's not physically here, because I did not win the championship last year. We are aware.
So close.
You should have taken it home.
I should have.
That's what I would have said.
I mean,
the rally.
I mean, I got into your head in the final as well. I feel like that
Game-winning shot.
Game-winning shot as well.
So this is all that I have for the podcast today. I want to thank all the viewers for watching. Put your parlays in, absolutely. Looking forward to another wonderful game this Sunday. And I will do one last thing here. Any final words?
I'll have Traina go first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of guys who didn't really show out week one that I think could have big week twos. You know, fringe bench guys like Eric and Aaron.
The fourth man of the league.
Right. And then you got some bumps on the log who I won't name, but you know, I think I'm expecting big games from small names.
I'm liking that. I like big weeks from Dan Kelly, Jackson Bowie, Aaron Quinn. Absolutely. On the horizon. I like it. Jake Ferrari making his debut as well. Absolutely. Traina making his debut. We got a lot of guys that are making their debuts. It should be an exciting week. Jimmy. Nolan.
It's gonna be a good week.
I think we actually are gonna have a pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
So everyone's gonna get their headshot. Everyone's gonna be in the ABA bet segment, hopefully, eventually. And Nolan, take us out. What do you got to say?
I'm just gonna put the league on notice again. You guys were lucky I wasn't there week one, especially Joel, because you wouldn't have stripped the ball from me. I don't know why he let you do that. He weighs like 40 more pounds than you. Hit the gym. And then what else do I gotta say? Just
Cheese champ.
I mean, yeah. Joel, it's you versus me for cheese champ. May the best man win. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All right, and I think that's a good one to wrap it out on. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, drop a like. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button.
If you're a parent of the ABA, please comment.
Yeah,
absolutely. If you're someone that's not one of the 20 people in the league, feel free to comment. I always love hearing when people who aren't in the league watch our stuff. It literally blows my mind. I cannot believe it.
Why they're wasting their time on us.
Hey, you know what? What people do with their time is their business. You know,
so.
If you want to sit down and enjoy,
it's quality basketball.
Enjoy the entertainment.
Not last week. It
was quality basketball. It's good. It is entertaining. It is entertaining.
What is it?
There's always drama.
Combined 37 for 155.
There's someone
in the one game.
There's someone out there who loves that.
And you know what? Don't let this hater. He's the cheese champ of the league. Okay, this is his job. This is what he does. If you like our content, keep watching. We're gonna be sure to keep continuing on this grind of making entertaining basketball content and experiences for everybody. Really like what we got going on here.
Yeah.
Commissioner couldn't do it without you. And
you too.
Thank you. Everybody, thank you for watching. We are back and we will see you again next week.